This video has been a long time coming, but here's 20 things I learned to get rich at the age of 23. The first thing is no one actually teaches you about money. School doesn't, university doesn't, college doesn't. No matter what it is, the only person that can educate you about money is yourself. Everybody goes to school, everyone goes to uni just to become an employee. They don't actually understand how society operates. They don't understand how money operates. And they certainly don't understand how to respect themselves when it comes to money. Money is an object and a tool that you use to create the life you want. The problem is, so many people have an emotional attachment to money. They care about it. Their mood depends on it. Their life depends on it. The way they act depends on it. People want to have this facade and this type of life that's always about money. And the problem is, money doesn't give a fuck about you. Money doesn't care. Money has no emotions. It's a piece of paper. If I put £100 down on the table, there would be some people that I know that would react and scream and be like, no way, no way. Money is just a tool that you use to get to the higher powers. There's a great example as well of how important money is in life, but you need to master your mindset around it. You need to master how you operate when you're around it, when you're involved with it, and when you see it. Money can get you into gateways and networks that you've never been involved in before. COVID jabs. I know somebody that paid a doctor to write off their COVID jab and never got the COVID jab. Money was used to get that. But the problem is, most people don't understand that because they're so emotionally attached to money, they're never ever going to get it. They're never going to see it. Because they're in such a low vibration, because they need it so desperately, because they don't act like the person that already has it, because all they're doing is being needy. All they want is money. All they think about is money. If you detach yourself from it, if you think about life, think about what it would be like to have money, to act like the person you want to become, be the person you are with money, feel it. Money is a tool. People need to understand that. And that leads me into my second lesson that I learned. The goal isn't to get rich, it's to stop being broke. Now, it's two different mindsets. Everybody's mindset in society, up to 98% of people, is they can't afford this, they can't do that, they're not able to achieve this, they don't believe they can do that. Your goal should never be to be rich. It should be to be able to pay a hospital bill when it needs paid. It should be able to fly anywhere in the world whenever you want on your own accord. But the problem is, nobody's willing to give up everything. Nobody's willing to change their mindset. No one's willing to do the meditation sessions. No one's willing to devote their life to making a bulletproof mindset, to changing the way they think. Everything is in the mind. Everybody laughs and they might think, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. People sometimes think, what even is mindset? Mindset is having the ability to lose £100,000 in a night, the next day go and buy a watch that you've been on a wait list for months and be absolutely fine about it. Because you know that in your mind, this life that you're living now, you deserve it. Because I know I deserve this. My mindset when I was broke compared to where I am now, completely different. That mindset is destroyed. The mindset I have now, bulletproof. Know I can achieve anything. I believe I am the best of what I do. I believe I will have the biggest business in the world that operates IB. It's all a mindset thing. Now, for you to change and for you to get into a position that you really feel that your life is worth living, because right now you're just wasting time. You're living, you're surviving, you're not enjoying life. You're not experiencing it. You're not doing what life's meant to be done for. To get yourself out in the world, to go do the crazy trips, to go treat people that you love, to go be around your friends all the time, to not have to turn up every Monday morning at 7 a.m. to work after a weekend on the drink. Your mindset is the issue. Now your mindset needs to change. And if you want a bulletproof mindset, you need to realize it is going to take a lot of time. And it's going to take time to adapt, to adjust, to think, to change the way you think, to change the way you operate, to change the way you speak to people, to how you act, to how you present yourself. Because the universe is watching. And people think, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in the universe. That's fine. But the truth is, elite entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, millionaires, billionaires, they all believe in the one's higher self. And that's why they're so successful. That leads me into my third point, my third lesson. The moment I stopped acting and presenting myself in a way, going broke, trying to be rich, trying to wear the designer clothes, trying to be the person that I thought was rich, trying to buy the Louis Vuitton bags, the Louis Vuitton shoes, the Dior tops, everything. When I stopped acting like that, when I started buying the things I actually wanted to wear, plain top, plain pants, let the watch be the fit, when I stopped pretending to be or acting like the person that had to be rich with the Gucci, that had to act like, yeah, flashy, all this stuff. That's when everything changed. Because at the start of my journey, the first thing I was thinking about was, when I make money, when I make this much, when I make that much, I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy a Goyard bag. I'm gonna go straight to Louis Vuitton and buy a top. The truth is, rich isn't the designer things. Rich isn't all of the materialistic things. Rich is having the power to be able to do what you want, when you want to do it. It's having the ability to go anywhere when you want to do it. The problem is, so many people are capped and caved in the society of, oh, I have to ask somebody. When you change your mindset away from actually thinking, I want to look rich, to being rich, you realize there's two different levels. Being rich is different to looking rich. Now, if you want to look rich, please go do it. Go to LV, spend all your money, work 3 months just to buy an LV bag. If you want to be rich, be financially stable forever, and be wealthy, you need to change the way you act. You need to prioritize the things that are correct. Stop trying to impress people that don't care about you, because I can tell you now, no one actually gives a fuck about what you're doing or how you look. The minute you change that, your whole reality will change. Point 4 is quite an easy one. It all comes down to belief. Most people underestimate what they can do in a month and a year. 1 month builds the blocks. 3 months builds the foundations. The more you scale, the more you grow, the more deeper you get into whatever industry it is that you're in, the faster it will snowball effect. Now, when we're talking on time frames, when we're talking on a year or 2 years or 3 years, I've been in this game nearly 3 years. People think it was luck. People might think you got there because of X, Y, Z that helped you get there. No, I gave everything. I sacrificed everything. Family, money, comfortability, my job, everything. Now, when it comes to time frame, when it comes to what you can achieve whatever you want in whatever time frame you want if you put your mind to it. But the problem is limiting beliefs. Every single person watching this video has a limiting belief because they don't believe they can achieve what they want to achieve. Do you think if I had that mindset, I wouldn't be sat in a £4 million villa in Marbella with all of my team recording this video? No. I saw someone with an RM watch on and said, I can have that. I saw someone with a white gold Daytona on and I said, I can have that. And now, the level I'm at, it's getting serious. I see someone with a house, I can have that. I see someone with a car, I can have that. Because if he can have it, why can't I? But the problem is, you're not willing to be consistent enough. You're not willing to put in the work. You think after a week, I know results, that's enough. If you believe that you can have £1 million, or you can have X, or you can have Y, or you can be in a position where your family can depend on you and you don't even need to let them go to work, you will achieve that no matter what the time frame is, no matter when it's going to happen, it will happen. But the problem is, you don't want to look long term. You're so captivated in such a small mindset and such a small time frame that you don't realize that there's so much more to life. If you change your mindset, you realize that in a month you can be in a position where you could be making the same amount as your wage. In a year, you could be completely out of that job, living wherever you want in the world, doing whatever you want, treating whoever you want. My cameraman behind this, he gets to fly around the world with me, everything paid for, everything, because he's a part of my team. No job does that. They ask for things. They want time. That's what they want. Now, we just spoke about time. Now, the second killer is being average. A lot of people don't understand that they're below average. They're not even at an average level yet because they're not willing to put their worth in front of everybody else. Now, there was a time when I got into the industry and I was working with people. And at that time, I thought they were the highest of the high. I thought they were the best at the best. I didn't need anybody else. But the problem with that was they were just average in the industry. They knew the basics. They weren't willing to scale because of comfortability. They weren't willing to make changes. And they certainly weren't willing to back the person that was driving the business. Now, comfortability is one of the biggest killers in this game, alongside being average. Now, if you are average, there's no shame in that. But you should realize there are millions of people in this world that make your yearly salary in a month or a week. So why can't you? Why can't you build a purpose? Why can't you stop being average? Why can't you just stop watching this video at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night? Have that boost of motivation and go and do it the next day. It's hard, but it's harder being average and broke than it is building a business like this and having a purpose and being in front of something that you want to do and seeing it grow and seeing it blossom. Being average, there's 99% of people that are average. When you walk in the gym, 99% of people are average. When you walk in the shop, 99% of people are average. There's no shame in that. But for you, you're watching this video for a reason because you know deep down you want to achieve something different. You want to be different. You want to become the black sheep. So do it. What are you waiting for? Why would you want to be average for the rest of your life and just sail and sail and sail? Why would you not want to go, fuck this, I'm going to take the biggest risk of my life. I'm so young, I can revert it. I can change it. If it doesn't work out, I'll try the next best thing and the next best thing and the next best thing. And I tell you what now, it will work. No matter what it is, you will go from being average to a successful entrepreneur if you keep trying every single day, even when you can't be bothered. But being average and you accepting that is a failure to yourself and everyone around you. You deserve more. You deserve to respect yourself and go for whatever it is you want to achieve. Stop satisfying for being average. Now, leading on to my 6th point, being average was one killer. Now, being average and sticking the same skills every day is what can kill you and just keep you like an employee on a salary. The skill I have, the high income skill I have to run a business, to run a team, to help people scale and grow, to get people out of their job, to get people into a position where they were working a 9 to 5, but now they're financially free, doing 5+ figures a month. To get to that level, you have to be different. You can't be average in this industry. Now, I took that in 2 ways. The first way was I could be satisfied with that. I could be satisfied making a low end 5 figures a month. I could be satisfied, happy with that. I could be satisfied being average and helping my guys make an extra 5 into a grand. Or I could do what successful entrepreneurs do, high end elite entrepreneurs do. I could educate myself more. I could buy more courses. I could get a manager. I could get a growth operator to get me into a position where people actually see this guy isn't average. Now, I might be in an industry now that is easy to make money at the start, but where you're going to be in 3 years' time, if you don't invest in yourself, if you don't back yourself, if you don't improve your skills, you are going to be average and you're going to fall into the same loop that normal 9 to 5 people do, being average, being comfortable. Now, to be able to invest in your skills, you need to understand what even are my skills. To have a high income skill like I have, it's took years to build up. 3 years in this game. And people look at me and think, well, I'm not going to get there. I'm not going to compete. I'm not even going to try. Or people start for a week and then they turn around and they think, well, hold on a minute, he's got this. Why are you comparing someone's day 190 to your day 1? Or why are you comparing someone's 1,242 day to your day 4? Because you want to rush the process. You're not willing to invest into a high income skill and then educate yourself. We can all go and invest in a high income skill, but how are you going to scale that skill? How are you going to learn that skill in even more depth and take it to a level that you've never achieved before? So don't be average in the norm society and don't be average in the business entrepreneurial world that you've just gone into. Learn, educate yourself, take the high income skill to the highest of levels that you possibly can, because one day you'll get caught out and one day you might have a bad month which leads into 2 bad months which leads into you even quitting. But if you learn, educate yourself, increase the value of that high income skill, you're going to get to a point where you can say, fuck yeah, I'm in a position where I can invest all this money. I can grow this money. I can help these people to a level I never thought I'd be able to help. Invest in your high income skill, even if you have one. Now, investing into yourself leads me into number 7, which is loneliness. Nobody tells you how important it is to invest into yourself because the top is lonely. It's a lonely place. It's a snaky place. It's a toxic place. If you're operating with other individuals, no matter what business they're in. What you have to learn is the higher the ranks you go, the closer to the top, wherever that may be. For me, the top has no ceiling. The sky is the limit. But unfortunately, every ladder you climb, every challenge you face and overcome, every new opportunity you get, it comes with one of the biggest sacrifices in this game, and that's being lonely. Nobody talks about how empty you can feel. Nobody talks about how lonely you can feel when you're sat there, you're working, you don't speak to anybody, all it is work, and you lock yourself in a room for 18, 19 hours a day, and you don't leave that room. Sometimes I go through paces, or I go through episodes where I lock myself in a room for a week at a time. No gym, nothing. Just straight work to scale the business, to implement what needs to be implemented. The top is a lonely place, and you have to be okay with that, because if you're not okay with that, that is going to be one of the one things alongside the other ones that we've spoken about that are going to destroy you, ruin your momentum and kill you. If you want to be the best, if you want to achieve something, if you want to go and be an entrepreneur, if you want to take that risk, you need to be okay with being lonely. Because yes, I've got an amazing woman by my side and she's honestly one of the most beautiful souls out there, but I still feel lonely at times. And sometimes it's not because of her, it's not because of the business, it's because of me. I want more. Now, is it ever going to be enough? Is $1 million a month ever going to be enough? Is 20 million a year going to be enough? I don't know. But right now I know that it's a lonely place for me, achieving every single goal that I've achieved, hitting figures I never ever thought I would hit 5 years ago. And now I'm looking at myself thinking, wow, what the fuck have you done, mate? You achieved everything that you wanted to achieve. Being lonely is something that you have to accept, because if you don't accept it, it's going to eat you up inside. I know many entrepreneurs that are successful, making millions a month, and they still feel lonely, but fill it with a purpose. That void, that loneliness, fill it with something that you're obsessed with. Because this right here, being able to bring the team to a villa, take them on 2 yachts, film this in a beautiful setting, this is my purpose. And I'm not saying I feel lonely every day. I'm saying maybe a couple times a month when I've just worked so hard. But you have to be okay with that. So don't expect to, because you're at the top, or you're working up the ladder, or you're getting higher and higher ranked, that it's not going to get harder and it's not going to get more lonely. I stopped buying things that depreciate, and I started buying things that appreciate. Like this watch, £50,000. People look at that thinking, you what, spend £50,000 on a watch? But people don't realise that this watch is an investment. This watch, in 5 years' time, might be worth double what I paid for it. Take a Rolex Pepsi, for example. £14,000 it was at the start of January, now worth £29,000. That is a 100% return on your investment. I don't buy designer clothes, I don't buy designer shoes, I don't buy designer bags anymore, because they don't appreciate. All they do is go down. You lose money on them. The minute you buy that, the minute you actually accept to take that item out of that store and buy it, you've lost money by half. It's like a car. I've just bought a car. You're going to see it all over because it's an achievement and I'm proud of it. But that car has to be a car I know won't depreciate a lot, and maybe in time it will appreciate. Now that's a risk I'm willing to take. But you need to stop buying things that depreciate all the time, like clothes, like pointless nights out, like going to the pub all the time, or going to events, because all the time you're just pouring money down the drain, but you're the one that's got to go to work. You've got to turn up at 9 a.m. every Monday morning, and if you don't, your boss won't be happy. So why do you not think to just alter the way you think about money and spend it? Start buying it on things that appreciate, like a mentorship. If I know somebody has a high income skill and I can pay for that skill, and it's £1,000, £2,000, that's what, probably 7, 8 nights out now? Sacrifice the fucking nights out. Because in 3 years' time, you can have as many as you want when you've made millions. But the problem is, nobody's willing to sacrifice the things that depreciate. Invest in yourself. Go and buy something that's going to help you in a high income skill. Stop being average. Get your time back. And stop you thinking about money all the time. Do you get it? All these points I'm saying, they all combine. They all interlink. They all have a meaning for one another. They all come together to create a structure and a relentless human being that is going to be you if you take the advice from this video. Now let's talk about belief quickly, because belief is the one thing that's holding you back. It's not money. Money's not holding you back. You've never had it. You don't understand the concept of it. You don't understand what it means to have money, because you treat it with such disrespect and you're so emotionally attached to it that you don't actually care. Belief. It is the biggest thing in your life right now that you don't have. Everybody says the word hope. Oh, I hope it rains tomorrow. I hope it's sunny today. I hope I can do this. I hope I can do that. I hope I'll do this next week. Oh, I hope I can get an early finish on Friday. No, you're holding on to hope. Hope isn't a real thing. Hope is this made up universal thing that people think has a meaning. It's like an empty bottle of water. You want a bottle of water, why are you getting an empty bottle of water? There's nothing in there. That is the same thing as hope. You need to alter your mindset. You need to believe. You need to practice being alone with yourself, alone with your thoughts. You need to sit there for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Not even change what you're doing for the day, but just sit with yourself. Accept your thoughts, process your thoughts. Picture what your dream reality would look like. What would you do if you had 10k in the bank tomorrow? What would you do if you had the dream car? What would you do if you had the freedom to say to your boss, there you go, there's my notice. I'm not coming back to work on Monday. I'm leaving, I'm quitting. If you believe it, if you can feel it, if you can feel the emotions, if you can psychologically alter your chemistry in your brain, and you can actually sit with yourself and know it's going to come true, that's what's going to change your whole reality. That's what's going to make you into the person that you want to become, get the life that you want to become. So it isn't money that you're scared of. It isn't money that's holding you back. It's a belief, because you're so scared to fail and you don't believe you've got the ability to achieve whatever you want. If I can do it, so can you. But if I can do it, I can also fail. When I started failing more and more, I started becoming more successful. Now that might sound crazy and people are going to be like going, what are you even on about? The more I failed, the more opportunities I got, the more success I started to face, the bigger and the better my skills became. I became an individual that had never failed so much in his life. You don't go from losing 100k to your business falling down, everything in 1 month. You have to come back from it. Failure is the one thing that's going to give you lessons. It's going to help you overcome anything in life. Because I'm telling you now, you're going to have hurdles. You're going to have times in your life where you think, what is going on? What am I doing? I've had about 5 failures this year. And I've also made the most money this year. I've been on the most trips this year. I've been around the most amazing people in the world this year. I've done the most amazing things this year. And it's only me. The problem is so many people are scared to fail that they don't think it's going to help them succeed. It is. The more you fail, the more you learn. The higher your skill becomes, the better you become. The higher the rank you become, the more closer to the top you become. But the problem is nobody wants to fail anymore because nobody's willing to take the risk. No one's willing to be rejected. I was. This year alone, I've lost 100k, lost my family, everything. But I don't give a fuck because I'm on a mission to become the best of the best. I'm on a mission to fill my purpose, the void I had when I worked a job. I would never ever go back to waking up at 9 a.m. every single day, going to work every single day, sweating, disgusting, risking my life for £1,500 a month. So I built a purpose, and that's what you need to do. Now, failure was one thing, but eradicating motivation to discipline is the real game changer. Being disciplined is the one thing that's going to get you into a position where you can overcome anything. If I acted on motivation, if I acted on because I'm motivated, I'm going to do this or I want to do this, I would not be anywhere where I am now. The minute you realise it has to be done. I don't give a fuck if you're tired. I don't give a fuck if you've done an 18-hour day. I don't give a fuck if your business is falling apart. I don't give a fuck, to be honest. Because if you don't have discipline, this isn't going to work. Motivation is like hope. It's a thing we hold on to that doesn't even exist. Or I'm watching this video at 11, 12 at night. I'll do it in the morning because I feel the most motivated at 11 o'clock, the most motivated at 10 o'clock. Because you got to go to work to the next day. You got to wake up the next day. So of course you're going to think like that. But the problem is, if you can't inhabit discipline, if you can't discipline yourself to get up, do the work, go to the gym, become the person that you said you were going to be, you're not going to survive in an entrepreneurial world. Because do you think anyone's telling me to get up at 6:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock? Do you think anyone's telling me to do all the work I need to do, to call all the people I need to call? No one's telling me to do fuck all. But I built that off of discipline, not motivation. So fuck motivation, forget about it, because motivation is not a real thing. You have to build discipline into your life. Discipline in what you eat, discipline in how you act, discipline in how you talk, what you do, how people see you, everything. So fuck motivation off. Start building some discipline in your life. Start off by doing 3 things every morning. Cold shower, meditation, journal, boom, done. 15, 25 minutes, you're out that door. You've done 3 things. You're on 3 wins for the day already. Every single day you'll get more and more and more. Build the discipline. Stop always focusing on this feeling of motivation that doesn't exist. And again, once I stopped holding on to this feeling of motivation that doesn't exist, I also realized one thing, that you can't get time back. Time is something you should never swap for a fixed salary, for a bit of gratification, anything. Because time is the one thing in life that you cannot just go, yes, I'll buy that, I'll do that for time. You should never do that. I'm 23 years old and I already feel like I've wasted so much time of my life, my entrepreneurial journey, doing what I do. And I know I can't get that back. And I'm okay with that. But I'm reaching out to people that might be 18, 19, that think going out clubbing is the way to go. Spending your money on shoes that cost you 2-3 weeks of work to pay for, which is laughable now I think about it. Time is so precious. It's the priceless thing in the universe. You cannot buy it. No one will ever exchange you for time, nothing. Think about all the people that have lost a loved one. All they wanted was an extra minute with them, an extra 30 seconds. Now, if that isn't a motivating factor in itself, to have the discipline to go on and do everything we've talked about to stop being average, then I don't know what will. Because right now you're ticking time bomb till you get to 65, till you retire. You have nothing there to show for it. You're old, your bones are brittle, and you probably can't even walk. But it's okay, because you've got your pension pot and you waited 40 years to get it, 50 years to get it, because you thought exchanging your time for a fixed salary was the answer to living a happy life, which makes me laugh the more I think about it. That is not the way to go in life. Your time is so precious and you need to protect it in whatever way it may be, whether that is to go and excel in an entrepreneurial, to go and excel in business. Whatever it is, you need to stop exchanging your time for money. Because the minute you do that, the minute you realize how priceless time actually is, you'll stop. You'll take every risk in the world. Mrs. Robbins said it. Take every fucking risk in the world. You are so young. So why are you not doing it? Now, yes, time is priceless, but a lot of people think starting in your 20s, people are smarter. Those people are higher at what they're doing. They're at a higher level. It's not the point. It's not the case either. It's the fact that they started sooner, they took action sooner, they took the risk sooner than you could ever have imagined. I know 16, 17 people that started at an age of 15 to 18. They took the risk. Now I see them driving Lambos. And I think to myself, fuck, if I'd only just started then, where I could have been now. But this is my story, this is my journey, and I'm different. What you need to understand is just because somebody in their 20s looks smarter or looks more intelligent or looks at a higher level, it doesn't mean that they are. It means that they started sooner. And again, it backs my point up with time. Time is priceless. And it can back my point up about hope. And it can back my point up about being average, because they all interlink. They're all the same thing. Now, the longer you delay it, the longer you take to take action and to start whatever it is you want to start, the longer it is till you're going to be successful, till you're going to be rich. Now, we've already spoke about being uncomfortable. Point 14 is I learned to be comfortable with uncertainty. Certainty is another thing that we chase. We're always looking for validation. You're always looking for somebody to give you the answer to something, or even make the decision that you know you should make, but you don't want to make it because you want validation to make it, because you're uncertain on it. Now, in this game, there's one thing that I need to make sure it's drilled into your head. Nothing is certain. Nothing in entrepreneurship is certain, because every single month is different. Every single day and week is different. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I could go and make the most I've ever made in a week. I don't know what's going to happen, but I believe that in a year's time, 2 years' time, I know where I'll be at. Now, if you're constantly chasing certainty, you're constantly chasing reassurance, you're constantly chasing validation, you lack something so much inside of yourself. You're not comfortable to be with yourself or make your own decisions. And what you're teaching yourself, what you're teaching the universe, that you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself enough to make the big decisions that matter. And you don't trust yourself to go into the world and take the biggest risks possible. This life, you get one shot at it. If you're constantly looking for certainty, you're constantly looking for the next move to be right, I'm telling you now, it's never going to happen. The moment I became comfortable working by myself or working with people that actually mattered and having that uncertainty, that was the most important thing that allowed me to become more comfortable, to allow me to enjoy life more, to allow me to enjoy the process more. Because this process is something so beautiful. It fills me with such a purpose. It fills me with such joy. Become comfortable with uncertainty. We've talked a lot about time being average hope. There's one thing that doesn't change you, and that's money. Money doesn't change who you actually are. Just because you have money, it should never change how you act, how you present yourself, or what you deserve. You should always act based upon who you are deep down without money. If you take money away, who are you? What are your beliefs? What do you stand for? That's the most important thing. Who are you if we stripped every materialistic thing away from you? And that's the only answer that I don't know about you, but you do, you know that answer. Another answer we always look for is asking parents or peers for permission to do something, permission to start. Why? Why do you need somebody else's validation, again, to tell you to start, to tell you to do something, to tell you to make the right decision? That's the problem. You're always looking for someone externally or something external, like money or like validation or someone else's opinion. Do it your fucking self. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see people do is lifestyle inflation. Rather than investing in themselves, investing in what they do, investing in their business, their skills, they go invest in things that don't mean anything. Renting cars for 10, 20k a week, going out and trying to act like they are the one, like they've made it, rather than building a solid foundation with solid skills, solid backbone, solid systems. And that's where I was different. I invested in myself. I bought books, I bought a mentor, I paid for a growth operator, everything you can imagine to invest into the business. And yes, I might not have the growth operator anymore. I might not have the business mentor anymore. But what I have gained is the skills, because I wasn't stupid enough to go out and invest into things that don't even mean anything, like renting cars, like spending bottles in the club, because it doesn't mean anything. I invested in myself, I educated myself, and I learned a high income skill. The goal was never to work less. It was to work on things that mattered, things that I wanted to do, things that really meant something to me, like building this business, like having this purpose, like being able to take people whoever I want around the world, being able to do whatever I wanted. It was never to work less or work less hours a week, because that is a fixed mindset of an employee, of a salary-based contract, of a normal 9-to-5 society. And in a normal 9-to-5 society, there's nothing that teaches you this. At 21, I realized the one thing I needed to learn was how could I handle the money that was coming in? How could I handle how much I was making? How could I handle, what would I do with it? Where would I spend it? How would I invest it? How would I use that money to make more money? Some people get to that point and they end up ruining their whole journey because they go and spend it on stupid stuff that doesn't matter. So there's 20 lessons I learned at the age of 23. And to be honest, it's been one hell of a journey, and it's going to be one hell of a longer journey. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you took notes. I hope you can understand from someone that came from nothing, who had nothing, who's never had anything until I took the biggest risk of my life, that you can do it as well.